All right, we are back again. This is the CSRN, our weekly podcast or our weekend review. Jody, what we're going to do right now is we need to put up our intro video.
Which one are you using this week?
We're going to use Dr. King.
Okay.
We're going to use Dr. King, not unless there was something that I forgot. But we'll put up our Dr. King intro that gives everyone an opportunity to like, share, and post our podcast. And listen, before we do that, make sure you log on to YouTube and like our YouTube page too. All right. Hey, listen, this is the CSRN podcast. We'll be right back.
I must confess that that dream that I had that day has at many points turned into a nightmare. Now, the other thing that we've got to come to see now that many of us didn't see too well during the last 10 years, that is that racism
not guilty
is still alive in American society and much more widespread.
Broke his neck after Baltimore police.
A handful of protesters, a handful of criminals and thugs who...
Many in moments of anger, many in moments of deep bitterness, engage in riots. And as long as America postpones justice, we stand in the position of having these recurrences of violence and riots over and over again. Social justice and progress are the absolute guarantors of riot prevention.
Mr. Gray's death was a homicide.
The Negro was freed from the bondage of physical slavery.
The athletes marched onto a stage.
But at the same time, the nation refused to give him land to make that freedom meaningful. Freedom without land to cultivate. Freedom and famine at the same time.
And create jobs for our people.
The Negro is to be free. He must move down into the inner resources of his own soul and sign with a pen and ink of self-assertive manhood his own Emancipation Proclamation. But I want to get the language right tonight. I want to get the language so right that everybody here will cry out, yes, I'm black, I'm proud of it, I'm black and beautiful. Individually, we are poor when you compare us with white society in America. We are poor. Collectively, we are richer than all the nations in the world with the exception of 9. That's power right there if we know how to prove it. We begin the process of building a great economic base. And at the same time, we are putting pressure where it really hurts. We don't have to argue with anybody. We just need to go around to these stores and to these massive industries in our country. Say, God sent us by here to say to you that you're not treating his children right. We come by here to ask you to make the first item on your agenda fair treatment where God's children are concerned. Now, if you're not prepared to do that, we do have an agenda that we must follow. Our agenda calls for withdrawing economic support from you. We mean business now, and we are determined to gain our rightful place in God's world.
All right, we are back. This is the CSRN, our weekly podcast or our podcast weekend review, where we come to you every week if we can. It seems like I'm kind of off the screen, but it's all good. All right.
We each got one shoulder.
Yeah, they get what they pay for. All right. They get their money back. But every week we come here live and talk about the things that we've done last week, some of the things that we're working on right now, and some of the things that we got coming up in the future, like Juneteenth and who's doing what and how we're going to help them achieve their goals. I'm Brother Washington Muhammad. I use the pronouns he and him, and I'm one of the co-founders of CSRN along with Mike Leonardi and Jabril Bey. 8 years ago, they had an idea that just ordinary people could speak truth to power. They didn't have to be professionals, politicians, pastors, or anyone like that, that if you got some facts and a bullhorn, hey, you can work wonders. And they brought me in later on to help manage or plan an event at the Frederick Douglass Center. Then after that, we did a couple other things. Hey, we met Jody on the way, and we're still here. Now, today, as you see, I don't have a hat on today. Got a fresh haircut with what little hair I have. I've got my brown rimmed glasses on. I've got a kind of mustard gold sweater with a really sharp T-shirt. I've got my beads on, and as always, I'm dedicated to respecting, protecting, and defending all Black bodies, no matter the cost, no matter the gains or loss. This is the home of Black Lives Matter and justice or else. Jody, I think that I've covered all of my intro stuff. And hey, also, you know, I am a recent recipient of I'm a card holding NAACP member. All right. And
That's
shout
awesome.
out to my sister Anita Madison that sent me a text. I'm like, how am I going to sign up? She sent me the link. I'm like, damn it. I was waiting for her to come with some pencil and paper. All right. That way I could duck her when she knock on the door. I'll tell my son, tell her we ain't home. Dad, we ain't home. Oh, man. So it's all good. It's all good. So I just wanted to put that out there. And if you want to get involved, get involved. And sometimes it's difficult to do this alone. Be a part of a team. All right. That way you can work on your people skills, learning how to work as a team and get along with others, and also meet different people at the same time. All right. I think that's it for me, Jody. If you could introduce yourself. It looks like I see a new button, as if there could be another button. All right. Introduce yourself. What do you got on?
What's up, everybody? Jody J. Summers, child of the system, better known as Spoken Truth. And actually, he's right this time. I do have a new piece. So I don't make jewelry. I try to emphasize that as much as I can, but I'm a creative. So I took one of those stones from the Grand Canyon, one of those rainbow moonstones, and I added it to the Phoenix, who unfortunately lost its piece of crystal on it. So, you know, we fix things and we put things together and add a little duct tape and glue. So kind of a new crystal, kind of an old crystal on an old piece. But yeah, for those of you out there listening, we appreciate you coming back each and every single week for almost 9 years now.
That's right. That's a long time.
9 years is a long time, almost that decade mark.
Almost half my life. Right. Go ahead. All right.
But if you are out there listening, and we actually hope you are listening, because I've seen a few states that have already done like the photo camera thing.
Yeah.
If you're touching your phone, you're going to get a fine. So if you're listening on Spotify, YouTube, Facebook Live, I am a big brown bear of a man that is covered in tattoos and crystals and bones and stones and artifacts from me deciding to save myself 8 years ago. As I travel around the world now, and I can add another country into that, but as I travel around, I collect from local local entrepreneurs, authors, business owners, and stuff like that, because at some point I was just a guy working for a paycheck asking for days off. I'm not that no more, but I still understand the struggle and the thing of being a surviving artist, because unlike one of these big box companies, is, as you mentioned, digital currency and stuff, that's not going back to your community. But I know when I go into a community or even my own, and I show up to a pop-up shop or a vending space that's paying their bills, so that money keeps circulating, those dollars whatever the color they are,
Yeah.
keep circulating in our community and not some CEO who is just waiting for something to mess up and get a bailout.
Oh, okay. I didn't
I
know
don't
we were
watch
going
TV,
there
but I get some
that
quirks.
early. Okay, but okay. All right. All right.
But if you are one of those people that are trying to do more and change and not be on a pedestal trying to scream at people what they should do, this is how you do that. We have a foundation that is
That's right.
our
Mission statement,
and our.
guiding principles.
So this is
I
our
didn't know
mission.
that there would be a test today, but all right. I'm up on it. I'm up on it today.
So this is our mission statement. If you are trying to do one of those influential things and not being an influencer, two completely different things.
Okay.
We are the Community Solidarity Response Network of Toledo, formed on November 25th, 2014, the day after it was announced that the killer, a Ferguson, Missouri police officer, Michael Brown, an unarmed teenager, would not be indicted. We bring awareness to the injustices experienced by Black men, women, and children who are disproportionately murdered, attacked, provoked, and harassed by law enforcement. Police brutality has to end. We bring awareness to the fact that most often police brutality goes without consequence and accountability. Police impunity has to end. We utilize the tactics of protest, civil disobedience, event disruption, and citizen advocacy to give voice to those who are otherwise voiceless. We facilitate progressive, community-based events that help foster self-development, and we discuss measures to hold local leadership accountable, yes, accountable to their sworn duties, be they politician, clergy, law enforcement, educators, etc., etc. We want justice, equal justice under the law. We want justice applied equally to all, yes, all, regardless of class, creed, or color. For all lives to matter, Black lives, yes, Black lives must matter. Injustice anywhere is a threat to justice everywhere. Reverend Dr. Martin Luther King Jr.
All right. And, we didn't talk about it before the show, but one of the things that we like to do is for nearly 9 years now we've been together. Your Black Lives Matter moment of all the things that we've done, that's award ceremonies, political forums, protests, event disruption. What are some of the things, or at least one, that kind of stands out to you?
Black Lives Matter Day, the
And-
very first one.
Okay, and why?
Because it was one of those situations where everybody screams with their hands up, somebody do something. So we did it. We did not wait for the powers that be or the community that be or the church or some super rich savior to come and save us. We just did it. We didn't have money or resources
Right.
or to know people. We just said, we're going to do an event. If people show up, they do. If people don't, they don't. And we put the work in to connect to as many people as possible. And that's something that in this day and age I'm seeing is very hard because somebody is always wanting to hold the bullhorn and not the sign.
Ooh, okay. I should be writing those down. All right. Hey, listen, I'm gonna get right into the guiding principles, and then I've got a Black Lives Matter moment if I don't forget before we go to break. And this is our guiding principles. Yes, we're grassroots as grassroots can be. However, once you get all of these personalities together that are bosses in their own right, any one of us could do this on our own. How do you manage that? All right. So we've come up with the CSRN guiding principles, and we kind of got these from the movement for Black Lives in 2015, brought it to Toledo, made some slight adaptations that fit us here. These are the CSRN guiding principles. All Black lives matter, queer Black lives, trans Black lives, formerly and presently incarcerated Black lives, poor working class Black lives, wealthy Black lives, differently able Black lives, Black men and women lives, immigrant Black lives, Black elderly and children lives. All Black lives matter and are the creators of this space. We throw no one under the bus. We rise together. Ashe.
Ashe.
And Ashe means one who changes a thing or one who makes a thing happen. Now, can the people in the studio? We've got.
They can
talk
talk
okay,
too.
Okay, they can say Ashe too. Okay, if they so choose to be a part of the experience. Thriving instead of surviving. Our vision is based on the world we want, not the one we're currently in. We seek to transform, not simply react. We want our people to thrive, not just exist. Think beyond the possible. Ashe?
Ashe.
Experimentation and innovation must be built into our work. Embrace the best tools, practices, and tactics, and leave those behind that no longer serve us. Ashe?
Ashe.
Evaluation and assessment must be built into our culture. Critical reflection must be a part of all of our work. We learn from our mistakes and our victories. Ashe?
Ashe.
Principal struggle can exist in a positive environment. We must be honest with one another by embracing direct, loving communication. Ashe?
Ashe.
Love, self-love is practiced in every element of all we do. Love and self-love must be a driver of our work and an indicator of our success. Without this principle and without healing, we will harm each other and undermine our movement. Ashe?
Ashe.
360-degree vision. We honor past struggles and wisdom from elders. The work we do today builds the foundations of movements of tomorrow. We consider our mark on future generations. Ashe?
Ashe.
Self-care means we build resilient spaces by budgeting time, energy, and resources for healing. Self-care is a regular, consistent, intentional, and essential practice. Ashe?
Ashe.
The most directly affected people are experts at their own lives and should be in leadership at the center of our movement and telling their stories directly. Ashe?
Ashe.
Training and leadership development should be fundamental. Our movement must constantly grow and leadership must constantly multiply. Ashe?
Ashe.
My Black Lives Matter moment. If you could, Jody, we've got our Frederick Douglass. Was that the 100-year anniversary?
Yes, it was.
All right, and I think this was in 2022 on the Frederick Douglass. This was from September 2022, celebrating 103 years of service, and CSRN got a chance to be a part of a sponsor of this event with our name in their book, and we keep this on our table. Hopefully, Jalen don't take one with him, but that's the big flex, because yes, we do the protest signs. Yes, we pop up. Yep, we pull up. But also there's some things in our community that we're a part of too. And that was great for us to be involved in that. And shout out to Reggie Williams and the whole board of the Frederick Douglass Community Association for really allowing us to have most all of our programming at the Doug. And we look forward to.
And it is not free. I want to add that. I've been asked a lot.
Okay.
And I hate to cut you off.
Oh, yeah.
But
something
that came to my attention a couple of weeks ago, like people were saying, oh, y'all do so much stuff there, and can we do it? And then I let them know that we pay to be there.
Oh, absolutely.
Nothing that if you're at a community center, if you're wanting to do stuff for the community, it's going to cost you because it costs them to keep those lights on, to keep the area secured and all that stuff. My biggest pet peeve now is when people ask for fundraisers or to do stuff and scream, it's for the community. Well, the community needs help too. You can't just ask for a handout. I actually have a poem.
Okay.
How much
longer
we keep waiting for a handout to get a hand up? So you still have to put in. It's probably going to be a discount. It's going to be less, but don't expect to go anywhere and just say, oh, it's for the community and for it to be free. That's wrong.
Right. And we insist that Reggie charges full price, because the Doug, that's like the centerpiece of our community. And if we don't support it, then who are we saying Black Lives Matter, but we don't want to support our own?
Right. We want some free stuff.
Get on out of here with that. All right. Hey, listen, let's go take a short break. We're going to come back with Anita Madison. Well, I didn't say her name, but we'll have her say it again. Hey, listen, family, this is the CSRN Weekly Podcast. We'll be right back.
Hey, I'm Dr. P. Not only am I a leadership coach, I'm a change agent and I'm a race scholar. I've used my study of race to dismantle systems and organizations, but I also use that to help you as the individual become a better leader for your families and for your community.
All right, we are back. This is the CSRN, our weekly podcast or our podcast weekend review. A CSRN tradition is, I know you see, well, that's not Jody. Okay, I know that. I know that already. However, one of our traditions is that I'll ask the person, like, who are you and what do you do? So who are you and what do you do?
I am a retired Sergeant Anita Madison.
All right.
And probably too much to say
Okay. All right.
what I do. But part of what I do is work in this community to try to make it better.
Okay. All right. Now I know you from when you were a sergeant with the police department. You had a program, I think it was called Stars.
Are you getting me mixed up?
No, I'm not getting you mixed up.
Because
No.
there's another officer on the police department that ran a program called Strive.
Okay.
Are you talking about that?
Hold on. Let me look at my notes that Jody left me. No.
Okay, what you talking about?
I'm talking about you've always been involved in the community.
Yes. Are you talking about PECs?
I'm talking about PECs. I'm talking about
Okay.
PECs when we were meeting.
You and I met at PECs.
And
Partners Empowering Community Safety.
Absolutely.
Yes.
So I met Anita when we worked together.
Yeah, I was in uniform and you was all standoffish a little bit.
I probably had warrants, but anyway, that's neither here nor there. But you've always been a fixture in the community, and I wanted to ask you, what's your origin story regarding law enforcement? When did you know that, you know what, I want to serve my community in this way? When did that happen?
You know, I've always wanted to serve. I'm a servant leader in my ministry. And so when the opportunity came for me to leave where I was working to start a career.
Okay.
It was a time when I was a little older than a traditional officer. And so but the real reason people, I wasn't one of those that had law enforcement in my family. I'm the first law enforcement officer.
Oh, wow. Okay.
In my family. So there's no generations of law enforcement officers. I didn't want to be a police officer since I was 4 years old.
Okay.
No police officer came to my school and inspired me. It really boiled down to my pension.
Okay.
That's what's
up.
That's how I got into law enforcement. I knew there was, some challenges to get in, but it started out with where I was working was a public employer, and I was looking for another public employer. And I found it at the city.
All right.
Toledo Police Department.
That's awesome. All right. So now when you introduced yourself, you said retired. All right. How many years? And my follow-up question is, why not just retire and just fade into the woodwork?
So I've been retired for 7 years, retired in 2016, coming up on 8 years, July 1st. And I wasn't, I just was not satisfied with leaving the work that I had started in the police department. They so graciously paid me to do do the work that I was doing out in the community. And you know how how you start to connect with people like you.
Okay.
I just couldn't just walk away and just cut some very vital branches. there were people that were extended out of the work that I did, that had I just cut the reins,
Wow.
things would have, not saying that I was irreplaceable, but there were tentacles out there of things that were going on, that were happening, that were directly connected to me. So just to cut ties and walk away, it just wasn't an option.
Yeah, that would have been rough for me, because you're one of the people that I love to call every once in a while and say, "Hey, look, I haven't talked to you, I hadn't seen you, we haven't ran into each other.
Right.
Hey, look, what's up? Where you at?" "Well, I'm right here. Where you at?" Oh, I'm like, "Okay, hold on." I wanted to ask this question also. All right, you're in a community. You were a police officer. It seems like there will be some apprehension regarding you being out here in the community and helping, knowing that at one point you and I probably, no, maybe not be, but it seemed like there could be some friction. Does that bother you?
No, because in certain, it doesn't really matter if you're a police officer, if you're a preacher, if you're a school teacher, or if you're a podcast person
Okay.
on a podcast. It's how you treat people when you're out there, when you're working. And when I was a police officer, I arrested people and seen them in the grocery store. But when you treat people fairly, okay, you did that, so
Yeah.
you got to go.
Yeah.
Never, maybe once or twice did I have to fight somebody that I was taking into custody. And so I always treated people like I wanted to be treated. And so it didn't matter if you had done something in violation of the law, you still were a
Right.
human.
Wow.
And so I always treated people with respect, even though they were doing something that they didn't have any business doing. And I often had people get down to the county jail and say, "Thank you."
Mm.
Who thanks people for locking them up? But
That's true.
it's a matter of really how you treat people. That's why I hope, in teaching.
Yeah.
Right now, I teach criminal justice. I'm hoping that I can mold a new generation of officers that, I don't have to love on you, but I should at least um, treat you in a manner that you allow me to.
Right. We have that conversation within the activist community and protest culture regarding law enforcement. And one of the things that we talk about is having officers in our neighborhood that we know, that know us, and you being able to teach. Hopefully, we can pull some of those.
Well, I hate dealing with the elephant in the room, but
Okay.
you guys are a proponent of defunding,
Mhm.
particularly the Toledo Police Department, which I'm just going to tell you, I'm not a proponent of.
Okay.
And because we need more officers to be able to do what you're talking about, to be able to prevent some of the things that happened just the other day behind this building. We need more officers in the community, so that and officers to stay in the community and not running haphazardly all over the city, running calls for service. Have time, have beat integrity again. That doesn't exist because there's not enough officers to be able to do that. It's very important for young people to be able to relate to officers in their community. You can't do that because you don't have time. And so, when we don't understand a thing, I think when people really want accountability and they really want transparency, and if they can't have that, then they, go off and not understanding some of the things. But we need more police.
Okay. All right. And we want police in our community that respect us.
Absolutely.
And when we say defund the police, and I think that we get the same knee-jerk reaction so often when we say Black Lives Matter, and people might think, well, when you say Black Lives Matter, you're saying that no one else matters. Well, you know what? Right, but if we had to put everything that we meant on a placard, it would be too difficult to read. Mm-hmm. So we come up with usually 3 words that's going to get your attention regarding how Black people are treated in America, and Black Lives Matter is one that gets your attention. And since we are taxpayers and we can talk about shifting some of the things that we believe that the police can do better, that's when we talk about defunding. We believe that we have the right to have that discussion so that maybe we can hire more officers in our community that look like us, so that we can have more officers in our community that respect us. Matter of fact, there's a situation with the Toledo mayor that selected the chief that we didn't want. Mm-hmm. We would like to defund that. All right. So defunding the police does not mean that we don't want police, because that would be that wouldn't be wise, because I'm a homeowner. I've got children. I live in the community, and I understand that there's some challenges with crime in our community. We live in a community where we protect the predators and we punish the victims. We live in a community where we have this thing called no snitching, and that just leaves those who want to prey on our community free for all. So there's some things that we know that we have to do, but at the same time, for those of us that pay taxes, that live in the city, we still want to have a say so. And one of the ways that we get your attention is with our signs. That will get your attention. So, okay, let me sit down and let you know what Black Lives Matter means.
So, Brother Washington, I'm the president of African American Police League.
Okay.
And being in that space, what you're talking about is the very thing that we want to try to coordinate. How does a community want their community policed? How? Yeah. And you can't do it without sitting down and talking about that. However, we also have to educate our community when we make these kind of demands about how we want police to respond to our community. We have to turn around beforehand and educate our community. Not only educate our community, but we got to educate those individuals who are assuming responsibilities that they never had before.
That's beautiful.
So to have to have calls for service, and I look at these numbers all the time, the calls for service in our community are through the roof, and it is because people in our community call the police. And I say often when I'm in meetings, if you don't want the police at your door, don't call them. If you want to use the police to get a problem away from you, but you don't like the way they handle the problem when they get there, don't call them.
Sometimes you need to figure your own stuff out.
Figure it out.
You need to figure it out.
And we don't do that in our families anymore. It used to be when, no pun intended, Junebug was acting a fool. Cousins and stuff came over and got him in check.
Right. That's
got him in check. And now Junebug is sleeping on grandmama's couch, taking her money.
Yep.
And everybody in the family knows.
Yep.
And nobody's doing nothing about it until it escalates to a situation where you have to call police. We have to learn how to deal with things in our community like we used to. When I was kid, when I was a child, you know what?
Go ahead.
I never knew the safety building existed as a child. We never had police. My dad took care of every problem that happened inside our house. We
Yeah.
never had police. I saw police periodically, but when I got on the police department, when I got sworn in as a police officer, and the first day I went into the safety building, that was the first day I'd ever been there.
Well, I want to say this also. What you're talking about, we're doing it right now, whereas people can see that there are people in our community that speak up on certain things, but until we get together and say, okay, this is what this means.
Right.
And sometimes government, not only law enforcement, but government sometimes have their mind made up what they want to do. And they invite us to stuff where their mind is already made up.
And stop
all right.
it. And so they need to stop it.
You got to, because that's why some of us don't care about you coming and talking, because you're not talking to the right people.
No.
All right. You're talking at us. You already got your clipboard with all of your suggestions.
Oh my God.
Already loaded on it. So time out for that. Let's sit down. I've got Anita Madison here. And she
Did
is.
I say what I was wearing?
No, you didn't. You just went right. You went
I'm
right.
I'm wearing the same color shirt Brother Washington is wearing.
Right.
But I got on black because they say black make you look smaller. So
okay. Well, okay. All right. Well, all right. Hey, listen, I want to say this because I see Jody looking at me like, are you going to bring the other guest on? Nope. But no, all right, we are. But Reggie Williams, who is the director of the Frederick Douglass Center, and we had talked about him earlier, and how he has done a phenomenal job of bringing that center back from the brink. All right. And a lot of us counted him out. I could have been included with one of them that said, look, there's no way he's going to do anything with that. So let's just stay far away. And then there was another group of us in the community. This is real spill that I'm saying. And for those pastors and community members that were at the meeting that I was at, there was a group of us that met, and we vowed to not assist the Doug so that it could have the death that it deserves. And something rubbed me the wrong way. Number one, I don't know why they invited me to that meeting.
Wow.
And I went back and I told Reggie, I said, hey, look, some of us that are coming up to you, asking you questions, how much money you're getting. Mm-hmm. Hey, look, bro, you need to shut it down. Do what you're doing, because some of us mean you no good. And I've seen a couple of things like that happen in the city. So having said that, Reggie wanted to know what was your opinion on some of the violence that's happening in the community? And you kind of laid it out regarding law enforcement, the ability for some of us to de-escalate our own issues, maybe even get some counseling and stop keeping things secret. We are a very secretive community. And then when it blows up, now we point fingers. Right. All right.
Absolutely.
So he had asked, what is your opinion on the violence that's happening in our community? Your words.
Sad to say, it's the home. Starts in the home.
Okay.
If the home is unstable, then who's coming out of the house is going to be unstable as well. And so we have to get back to stabilizing family, letting young people know that there is hope. People without hope will do just about anything.
That's right.
And so this violence, it's only going to get, keeping this stuff in the street is only going to make things worse.
Okay.
And so people that's doing violence have to be held accountable. But guess what? It's people that know who's doing what. But when you don't have trust between your police and the community, you're not going to get people. I would love to say that, we have well-skilled detectives and have had, very skilled detectives who solve crime. Fact is, majority of crime, and I mean a lion's share of it, is solved by the community.
That's
facts.
facts.
And if the community,
That's
now it
facts.
takes a detective to package it all
Okay,
up and take it over to the grand jury, but
I know.
the fact is, community
Right.
solves crimes, and when your community shut down, you got unsolved homicides. You got you got
I agree.
activity that
I agree. This is just real talk. And everything that you're saying, we know who did that. All right. And we give them shelter, we give them comfort. However, when it happens to my daughter, when it happens to my son,
now it's a problem.
it was cool when they do it. It's a problem when when it comes to me. So I think that we got to get out of that cycle of dysfunctional care for those who are preying on our community. And I think that one of the first steps is me talking to you, having you, are you the director of the African American Police League?
We have president, first vice president. I have there's 3 active officers on our board,
Okay.
and then it's 2 retired officers on our board.
So
So I'm the president.
Okay, and listen, we said that I saw you read something. I think that maybe last year you were talking about the hiring practices,
Right.
and you made a document, and it was so well written, so strong. I'm thinking, wow, did somebody in CSRN write this? No, Anita wrote it, and I love what you do. All right, I love that I'm in a faith community, and I can call us out. All right, and that's what I do. I might get kicked out of the man club or the faith business club because it is a business, and family, it is a competitive sport. All right, that's a full stop right here.
Sharing sheep.
Right. So it's going to take all of us, some of us that are complicit, some of us that want truth to be known. All right. Now, I want to talk to you about the fundraiser that that you're a part of.
Yes.
What is it, and how can we get involved?
We haven't officially announced it yet, but if you remember back during Black History Month, the NAACP honored Albert McKinley King. Albert McKinney King was the first African American police officer hired by the Toledo Police Department in 1887.
Oh man!
Can you imagine that? I was trying to imagine what kind of work was he doing in 1887.
Harder than mine.
Okay.
All right.
And the man served for 25 years. He served to 1913. Served 25 years on the Toledo Police Department. And what is so interesting is his wife, who was her name was Julia King. His wife was the very first African American probation officer.
Wow.
Here in the city of Toledo. And both of them are buried in Forest Cemetery. They have no biological children. And so, they passed away. They had, I think, some, godchildren or some.
Right.
But we just think that as law enforcement officers and whose shoulders we stand on.
That's right.
It's disrespectful for them to be out at Forest Cemetery and not have a grave marker. And so we want to do just that. We want to raise funds. This is not funds for, to have a party or do any of that.
I get it.
Strictly to raise funds in order to order a marker for his and his wife's grave out at Forest Cemetery. They've been buried out there. He Albert King passed away. Let me see. Shirley Green, Lieutenant Shirley Green, she is our historian. She knows.
Okay, Shirley. Shout out to Shirley.
Shout out to Shirley. She knows this stuff like the back of her hand. And so he died in 1934.
Mm.
She died in 1938. You know,
Yeah.
long before I was ever around.
Right.
But
right.
so they've been out there for this amount of time, and they don't have a grave marker.
Okay, well-
And the African American Police League, along with, they don't know it yet, the city, the county, and anybody else that want to help us. You know, we've had, there's some organizations, there's some businesses that want to help us. So we're going to be putting together that. You're going to see it come out really
Okay.
soon, because we want to get that done.
All right. Well, all we need to know really is what's the cost. All right. And once we know what the cost is, then we can do what we call the shakedown. That's when I'll make some phone calls for everybody that appreciate what we do. Well, now you're going to have to show your appreciation. All right.
Right.
And for most of us could take care of this with a swipe of a card. All right.
Absolutely.
Most of us have lived pretty good, including myself, that we could just swipe a card and be done with this. So on behalf of myself, Jody, and CSRN, when you come up with the number,
Absolutely.
let us know.
We're doing that research now to try to figure out.
We're gonna put an end to all of that him and
right.
haw, and
That's right.
We ain't
and we're
doing
gonna
that.
invite everybody out at Forest Cemetery. We're gonna have
Okay.
a party out there.
All right. Oh, okay. All right. Well, all right. Jody may show up for that one, but it's an honorable thing to do. I believe in that. And in our opening, we said all Black lives matter.
Mm-hmm.
And all means all. We don't throw no one under the bus. All right. We rise together. So come up with the number. Let us know. And we're not gonna. This is not gonna be a dragged out thing. All right. We'll put some people on the spot. We might dust off some of our signs. All right. Again, just for this. All right. All right. Hey, listen, before we go, because I want to bring on Jalen.
I know. I want to hear from Jalen too.
Right. Before we go, before we go, we'd like to know, what do you do for self-care? We talked about a lot of heavy stuff.
Yeah.
What is it that you do to rebalance?
You know what? I schedule it. I schedule it, because we can get so busy, filling up our calendars with events and this and that.
Yeah.
I schedule my self-care, and I do what's called just get off the grid.
Ooh.
And
Yes.
When I get off the
Go
grid, my phone is off. I'm not looking at emails. I'm not doing any of that. I am off the grid. And we got a trip coming up at the end of the month where we're going to go to a spa and do some things. So that's, kind of what I do.
Hey, family.
Self-care.
And whatever Anita does for self-care, if it means for us to get off the grid, which could also mean put this on
Get off
airplane
that
mode.
phone. Yep.
Put it on airplane mode, leave it at home. Whatever you can do, family, because we are living in some trying times. So take care of yourself. Hey, thank you, Anita. Hey, would you be willing to come back?
Brother Washington, now anytime you call me, I'm coming.
That's right. Hey, and also Reggie asked, he put on the screen, let him know too regarding the markers.
Absolutely.
So
yes.
once we let Reggie know, if I know, we'll pull up at some folks' house. And Reggie's kind of big. All right.
I know.
I'll stay in the car and wait. All right. Hey, family. This is the CSRN, our weekly podcast. We'll be right back.
If you can ride a bike without falling, then you're good to go. Bike Rides Matter, it's a community bike group. We get together for fun, fitness, and fellowship. We ride weekly. Right now, we got a Tuesday ride where we ride on the UT Trail. We do Saturday right here at Uptown Green. That's our glow roll Saturday night. It was something I was already doing with my daughter. just riding bikes, and we just decided it would be cool to add the community because we were just finding ways to make fun given the situation. Being that everything was closed down and options were limited, bike riding is one of those things you can do without any restrictions.
You get to make new friends and just like interact with people, especially during COVID. You still like have your mask on and stuff, but it's still good to like see people.
It's a cool way to stay fit. We talk while we riding, we got music while we riding. I've met quite a few new friends and new people. I made some real cool connections throughout the city. Take advantage of the time you have. Take advantage of this pandemic. I know it's a lot of restrictions, but you can be creative and find new ways to have fun, one of which is this right here.
Hey, we are back. This is the CSRN, our weekly podcast. I'm trying not to touch the table because we end up shaking our expensive camera there. So I'll try to get my hands off the table. Hey, listen, we're back. And as we do with our traditional CSRN intros, I've got a very special brother with me today. I think we connected maybe a couple of months ago, all right, and hit it off right then about especially where brother is coming from. So enough of that. Who are you? What are you wearing? And who are you representing today?
Okay, so I'm Jalen Wallace. I am the regional coordinator for the Ohio Forward Party, so the Northwest region. So I have congressional districts 9, 4, and 5 in my region. So that's, that region is, where I work out of.
Okay. All right. So I know people are asking right now. He didn't say the Republican Party. He didn't say the Green Party. He didn't say the Democrat Party. He didn't say any other party. He said the Forward Party. What is the Forward Party and how did you get involved?
So the Forward Party, like you said, is not the Republican Party. We're not on the left. We're not on the right. Forward is forward. So we have a slogan that says not left, not right, but forward.
Okay. All right.
The reason for that is because in order for us to move together in unison as a community and as a nation, right, we need to go forward. We need to come together, put aside our differences, and do something great for our communities and, in which we live.
All right. So the majority of people of color, and particularly Black people, are Democrat.
Correct.
I don't know if it's just that's what they give us when we're born. We get that D on our little pamper. All right. All right.
With the D on the shoulder.
Right. So, all right. How did you find yourself deciding, hey, look, I want to look into something else? How did that happen with you?
So I would say it probably happened maybe, I want to say 2-3 years ago. I just, growing up in the Black community, most of our people are Democrats, like you said.
Okay.
And so I just went on with life, as a Democrat. And then I want to say probably I was maybe 18, 19 years old. I just started thinking to myself that the Democratic Party really isn't working for our community. It's not, it promises a lot of things.
Okay.
But it does not deliver. We see in politics today a lot of kicking the can down the road, promising our communities things just to get our votes. And me and a lot of other people, are a little tired of that. I live by the principle of if you talk about it, you plan it, you execute it, right?
Okay.
We don't see a lot of that in the Democratic Party, and especially not in the Republican Party. Both parties are not working for the interest of the Black communities and actually any community at all. They work for themselves. So with the Forward Party, it is community driven. Thriving communities is a big talking point, making sure the communities that you live in are safe, that you can go home to a good environment, right? You can feel safe in the areas that you live in, right? Also, a robust democracy, right? Reforming our republic. We don't live in a democracy. We live in a republic, right? So making sure that republic works for everyone, right? That is what the Forward Party is about. Making sure that the system works for the people that it is supposed to represent.
Okay, I'm like, okay, so when do we start voting? All right, that was I agree with you. Jody and I don't know why I put Jody on the spot because I can. We organize politically, and me as a functioning Democrat, I see that. All right, and I was talking with Anita about, we can call ourselves out. Why not? If it puts me out of the A team, what was they have a Democrat A team and there's a B team. I think I'm all the way in the F. All right. But it's about time that we started calling ourselves out. And if that's when we have a sign that says justice or else, and that means that we've done all that we could politically. We voted for you. We will donate to you. But we're still in the same spot. And it's not an accident that the needle doesn't move, the envelopes don't get pushed. And sometimes you might have to put some pressure of competition in focus.
Right.
I don't know if Anita remembers this, but this was a long time ago. We used to just have one phone company, and it was called Ohio Bell. There was no other long distance, just Ohio Bell. However, something happened during the I think maybe the mid 90s. There was some deregulation, so that other phone companies could participate, and it put an end to that monopoly. I don't think anybody has Ohio Bell anymore. All right. So if it works with automobiles, we have more than one car company.
Right.
It works with fashion. We have more than one designer.
Exactly.
It might. We have more. We only have two hospitals. Really one. All right. We don't want to get Jody started, but anyway, it may work well with politics too.
Exactly.
Right.
We need to change.
Right.
So competition is good.
All right. So I'm going to ask you a question about your origin story, and at the same time, I want to put up add the Forward Party to our screen.
Of course.
All right. So this is, as brother said earlier, on the website, not left, not right, forward, and you can see what they're about. You don't have to take Jalen's word for it. You can join. You can even check out. I checked out the gear earlier. I said, "Hey, support your swag." Okay, all right. Okay. Let's let you know we did our homework on you before you showed up.
Definitely.
Before you showed up. You can also learn how to donate and even get your own login code. On down, it talks about 6% of voters want a new political party. It says they're building it. It's a party powered by the people. I think I might need to get a discount or something. All right. And there's the map.
Right.
Just how actively the party is building. What are they doing in each of the states? And right here, that's you. Right here. You right here in Ohio. So check that out, family. That allows us to put pressure on our Democrats, or if you vote Democrat, and it also puts pressure on the Republicans that, hey, look, people can have a choice.
Of course.
Why not? Every year people tell me that if you don't vote, you don't have a voice. Well, the way things are going, family, there's a such thing called a vote of no confidence. All right. And if we're talking about voting for the less of two evils, okay, so I'm not voting for Satan. I'm voting for Satan Jr.
Right.
All right. And that's going to, all right. So is that something that I'm going to be proud of? So a lot of people are opting out of voting to show their disdain. And people are doing this both Democrat and both Republican. And regardless if you don't vote, and I think you should want to be part of the decision-making process, but if you don't vote, you're still paying taxes.
Right.
All right. So when people say, well, if you don't vote, you don't have a voice, well, they're still taking my taxes. So you might as well get involved in the process, and you might run into someone like Jalen that might have a different point of view that you might want to take a look at. All right. Last question. No, I got a couple of questions to ask. I wanted to ask you, when did politics get important? Why not sports? You look like you fit, you definitely look like you could take me. All right. So why not sports? Why not entertainment? Why politics?
I'd say politics, because I really want to make a change in the community, that I live in.
Okay.
Sports, I do like sports.
Okay.
I like entertainment. I like music. I like watching movies. I like things like that too.
All right.
But those are not passions,
Mm.
right? I'm passionate about helping people. I'm passionate about doing something great myself, right? I'm not seeking the recognition for anything that I do or anything that I'm trying to do. It's all about making sure you can help someone else out, right? To a point where you see results, right? You see
Right.
results in the community in which you choose to serve. That's why I enjoy politics. I've been interested in politics since I was a little kid. I'm a huge history buff. Huge
Okay.
history buff. My favorite book is a history textbook.
Okay.
So as a kid, I was a little strange. I love history. So that's where my passion for politics really blossomed. In high school, I was on the speech and debate team. I did congressional debate. I loved it. And that is what really helped develop my passion and kind of box it up and put a bow on
Okay.
my love for politics.
All right. Now, I think early in the week, you do a lot of traveling.
I do.
All right. You do a lot of traveling and organizing with the Forward Party.
Yes.
All right. We asked Anita this, and Anita was an awesome guest.
Oh, yeah.
All right. I thought she was going to be difficult. I ain't going to answer that.
Real
All
good guest,
all right.
yeah.
Right. What do you do for self-care? How do you unwind after organizing? Maybe some doors slammed in your face, phones hung up on you. I know you get a lot of no's and things like that. What do you do to rebalance at the end of the day?
The thing that really helps me rebalance at the end of the day, I listen to a lot of jazz.
Okay.
A lot of jazz. It's calming. I'll sit back, I'll relax, and I'll just turn some jazz on. And that's what kind of helps me de-stress. Yard work, cleaning, things like those. Things that can take my mind off of the day.
All right.
Help me de-stress.
I hope my wife don't hear that. See, Jalen, he do the yard. I'm like, don't be listening to Jalen. All right. Hey, listen, if someone wants to learn more about the Forward Party, because we're going to have you back in a couple of weeks.
Of course.
All right, we're going to have you back in a couple of weeks, and we're going to have a segment. I don't know if we're going to call it playing it forward or whatever. We're going to have something catchy, all right, that Jalen can come back and talk about some of the things that are coming on the political landscape that we need to be aware of. And he's all about what's happening local. How can people reach you?
So you can reach me by email. My email is Jalen, Jailyn, Wallace, WALLACE, FWD @gmail.com. I always respond to my emails. That is actually the best way to contact me.
All right. And if and you can also reach him through us, or just hit us on our inbox, as some of y'all already do with your requests. All right. Say, hey, look, that guy Jalen, he was really smart, a lot smarter than Jody. Hey, look, I want to reach out to him. All right. No, you know it's the other way around. All right. Jody already know what it is. Jody's talking off camera. All right. But we'll make sure that happens.
Of course. And check out the website too.
Right.
Check out the website.
Right. We put the website on there. And I think that's just forward.com, or just put that in your forwardparty.com.
Right.
And or either way, look, you got a phone, you can do that. Family, this is and look forward to Jalen being back in 2 weeks, giving us the lowdown on the things that are happening in your community that we think you should be aware of. This is the CSRN, our week in review. We will be right back.
Did you know addiction is a disease, not a moral dilemma? The opioid epidemic and substance use have a major impact on communities of color and many people's lives. Wasion Wellness Recovery Support Center offers culturally relevant inpatient and outpatient behavioral health treatment and recovery support services to any Ohioan struggling with addiction, mental health, or finding sober-safe housing. We must recognize that treatment is available and accessible to all. If you are in need of treatment or want to find out more information, you can call 1-888-728-2713 to talk to someone or schedule an appointment.
Now you can get the same uncompromising truth you've come to expect from the Final Call newspaper on all your connected devices. Subscribe to the Final Call Digital Edition today. Go to subscribe.finalcalldigital.com.
Audio Jungle.
All right. Hey, that was easy.
Yeah.
Hey, this is the CSRN, our weekly podcast. We are going to have our shout outs and concerns. No, our shout outs and solutions. This is when we go out in the community. We talk about some of the things that we're involved in, some of the things that Jody was at, which was everything. I never met anyone that could be at two places on the opposite side of the city at the same time. I don't know how he does it.
I walk there.
Yeah, I stopped asking. I'm like, bro, okay. All right, I don't even know how you do it.
Stick is a teleporter.
All right, okay. See, come on now. So people start believing that. I want to stick too. Hey, come on now. Hey, look, one of the things that we didn't do was give our Kwanzaa word of the day. This is from the 7 Principles of Kwanzaa, the Nguzo Saba. Today is Ujima. That means collective work and responsibility, and that means to build and maintain our community together and make our brothers and sisters' problems our problems and solve them together. So shout out to the Toledo Kwanzaa House, Mother Diane Gordon, and everyone involved in Toledo Kwanzaa House and helping us keep Kwanzaa 24/7, 365. All right. Jody, I follow you online. Matter of fact, sometimes your posts are the only thing in my timeline, in my news feed. I don't know why that happens, but are there some things that you've been involved with and some things that are coming up that not only us as CSRN need to know about, but the people that are watching this podcast and may stream it later on?
So just a couple of events. I did a few things last week, getting it with, like we always talk about self-care and stuff.
Yeah.
When I do get a chance to be off, and I think I even posted this, if it's 2 days where I don't got events, I don't leave the house.
Oh, you do the off the grid? That's the Anita
I do the off
Madison.
the grid. I go
Okay,
paint some
okay.
boxes or some stones, and so I could drop them out through the community, and honestly just rebalancing myself, because I am a lot. I don't see myself as a lot because it's my routine. It's just my normal daily to make sure I provide change and not just scream to people to give me some change. But the couple events that I did make it to, I was very happy to, was the Micromatics solo exhibit by Contron. If you don't know what who he is, he's one of the owners or curators or how that works for art galleries at River East Gallery.
Okay, I know what that is.
Yep, that's Contron, Luke Stockley. I'm probably saying the names wrong. And Chris Rodriguez, or Chili Rodriguez, if you know him. He's also doing the mural for the East Side, the bridge that we got up.
Right. Is he involved in the grain silos?
Yep. Also the grain
Okay,
silos,
all
the
right.
largest mural in the United States, and all that stuff. So he had his first Micromatics, and you might see some photos from me. I still have to go through and clean my phone and everything, but it was awesome. I went to that, and then I also went to a friend of mine, Ivory Winds. They were hosting a Battle of the Sexes at Code. Yes, I still do nightclub stuff, but it's different. I'm there for support. I know a lot of local artists because I started way back in 2000, and I know you don't know the answer to that, but 2012, when I first started doing radio with the Cast Off Show and stuff. So I have a lot of branches. Some of them don't exist for me no more because I don't really drink socially. I don't like being in places with loud music where I can't conversate, but to do my best to support, I'll still go to a rock concert, a rap concert, a country concert, all of that stuff. And it was an awesome night. So I had fun into my night there. Sunday, April 16th, at the Collingwood Art Center, a friend of mine, he was having his evening in the spare room hosted by Dee Brown. If you guys don't know her, she's one of the people that were very pivotal.
Yeah, it's a word now.
Pivotal in me becoming an author and all these things. But it was a very good show. A friend of mine, what is it? Scott Fish and Mike Hackney, they made a movie. So a whole bunch of stuff. There were vendors, artists in there. We were in the basement of the Collingwood Art Center. So those are the couple things that I did last week. Upcoming this week, and I'm going to not try and run through these, but tomorrow, if you guys know what tomorrow is, it is our...
I don't know.
Well, the day is...
Today is the 18th.
So tomorrow is...
419 day.
Exactly.
Hey, okay.
419 day for
kind of slow today.
People.
Thanks for doing that to me. But okay.
But it's tatted tomorrow.
All right.
Can't see that. This arm over
Okay.
here. Anyway, tomorrow's 419 day, and one of the celebrations that we have in the arts community is Ode to the Zip Code. Which I'm happy that I've won one of those. But tomorrow at the main branch, Lucas County Library, 6 o'clock. If you want to see who won, the contestants and all that stuff, they will be there.
Okay.
There is also the 17th annual fundraiser, Chili Mac Spaghetti Dinner for Jobs with Justice. So 420 is honestly a very busy, or 419.
Yeah, see, that's what you get. That's what you get. That's the universe saying, we got your back, Brother Washington. He gonna slip up sooner or later. Yeah, that's right.
I'm trying to rush myself. But
you can say what you want to say.
also, the 19th, at the same time, in the same building, because the library is awesome. I love our public library system. Film Toledo is doing a workshop series, basically acting classes. They had one Monday for their annual fundraiser. Sorry, Doug and everybody, I couldn't make it. You know, just some stuff. Yesterday was busy, got overwhelmed. Again, it's a teleporter, but I don't try and be too many places at once. I'm never there for the photo op. Actually, I've been taking myself out of the photos. I realize that I'm just doing my thumb or the staff, or you might see the hat, because it's not about me. It's about my community. So you'll see less and less of my face, and unless somebody decides to grab a selfie with me, which does happen too. But make sure you show up to those things. Film Toledo, Ode to the Zip Code, Chili Mac Dinner if you can. There's some other stuff going around. I'll try and post it on my page if I can. But if not, go to your events on your social media. It's a good place to find resources. You want to know what's going on? A lot of people do still do the Eventbrite or just flyer, but some put it in the events, and you might find some people that you haven't talked to in a while and everything. Yeah, so that's some of the stuff I got going on. Sean Nestor had This Weekend in Toledo come out.
Right.
And
we got a couple of articles that we got from his site. Before that, what I wanted to do is
we're voting on House Resolution 63. All those in favor vote aye when the bell rings. Those opposed vote no. Has every member voted? Does any member wish to change their vote?
And we're happy to say that the 2nd Tennessee representative was reinstated Wednesday after the Memphis City Council voted to return the Democrat to his former seat. So not only Justin Jones was reinstated, but on last Wednesday, it was Justin Pearson that was reinstated too. And what both of those brothers did, along with their white Republican partner, they went out and protested regarding gun control and making their communities safer. However, when the Republicans got wind of that,
they tried to make an example.
They wanted to make an example, and one of the Republicans didn't want to expel their white their white member, which made it look racial because they didn't want to stick to the script. So good for them. Also, I wanted to give a shout out to the Mott Branch Library. You talked about the library system, and I think that we've had one of the best. We had their levy sign in here.
Yep.
That we supported that, and we asked everyone.
It's still in my yard
to go out and vote your best interest. But that was one of the best that you could vote for, and they let us use their the Beast of Butler. Print right here. All right. So hey,
Rhonda on, so she could be right behind.
We got some pull. All right, right. And so shout out to Mott Branch that they lay it out for us. They allow us to just reconstruct one of their rooms into a podcast studio. I also wanted to say that if you haven't heard of the 16-year-old Ralph Yarl from Kansas City, Missouri, that was shot twice.
For ringing the doorbell.
For ringing wrong house. However, the person said, Andrew Lester said that he was afraid, but they're going to prosecute Andrew for that. That shouldn't have happened. And real quick for this week in Toledo, where's their graphic at? Good looking. They got a new graphic for their for the Facebook page. And this is Sean Nestor. If you don't know Sean Nestor, get to know him. I don't want to say he's weird like us, but he is. All right. Yeah, cool dude. That's another way of saying it.
First time I met him, I was in Columbus marching to ban Monsanto. So
all right. Okay.
Good people.
And we still marching for that.
Yes, we are.
This is from this week in Toledo. On Thursday, residents from the Greenbelt Place Apartments credited the movement, a community group led by our sister Tina Butts, with improving the conditions at the notoriously troubled complex. So shout out to Tina Butts for that. And also in further news, State Senator Paula Hicks Hudson was elected chair of the Lucas County Democrat Party. Did you know that?
I did know that.
All right.
Unfortunately, I wasn't able to make that meeting. It was my trauma day.
All right.
The 21 years where that situation happened, you have to read a book or something like that. But I did get informed through channels and stuff that she got the vote. So I'm happy for that.
I saw how you slipped your book in there too. But anyway, saw you slipped your book. All right, okay. We're gonna be selling some books today, family.
Well, it is free right now.
Okay, all right. On Amazon?
On Amazon.
All right, there you go. All right. So I should get a free how am I gonna get a free book for mentioning your free book? But anyway, I would just get a free book just for spite. All right. It says that she replaces Lucas County Recorder Mike Ashford, who resigned on March 15th, citing a lack of time to commit to the position. Also on Monday, the City of Toledo's Human Relations Commission held a press conference announcing its Good Neighbor initiative. We were part of that last year with working with our sister Fields. What's Anika?
Yes.
Oh, sorry, Anika.
Who's also an author too.
All right. As part of an initiative, it's seeking residents to take the Welcome in My Backyard pledge. And for more information, just go to the HRC Toledo.ohio/Wimby. And lastly, let me put our sisters up there, her Zaya Cook. All right.
Yes.
There we go. All right. On Monday, 2019, Rogers High School graduate Zaya Cook was drafted in the first round to play for the Los Angeles Sparks. It says that she is the fourth Toledoan after Erica Haney, Kamisha Harrison, Natasha Howard to join the Women's National Basketball Association.
Met all of them.
Right. I think and Zaya Cook was a 2019 recipient, if I'm not mistaken, of the Black Lives Matter Award.
Yes, she was.
Right. And that was one of the first times that we had a high school student to get that award. So shout out to our sister. I think in closing, I want to say a shout out to everyone that's participating in Ramadan. So for the Muslims and others that are participating in Ramadan Mubarak. This is the 27th day that we fast during the day, and we fast from arguing. If you smoke, you should be smoking anyway, or drinking. But hey, look, family, it is what it is. All right, God loves all of you. All right, so hey, it's all good. Look, it's all good. It's all good. So all of us that are fasting during the daylight hours and breaking our fast just after 8 o'clock. This is the last week of that. So shout out to everybody that's doing all that you can. And hopefully it could be a reset, because some of the things that we're not supposed to do, which is argue, use foul language, and a lot of other stuff we shouldn't be doing anyway. So for Muslims, it's our time to reset, because we could be off the hook too. We talk about everybody else, but we'll be talking about
as part of that whole self-care. I was with you again.
All right.
So that's 3 times this month I've been with you. That was my Wednesday.
All right. I don't want to shout all the Muslims out, because I don't want to be coming. I already gave my location. I'm like, hold on, Brother Muhammad. All right. I'm just reading. I'm just reading what Jody had me to write. But
unfortunately, though, I do want to kind of, because did you get the flyer I sent you?
Oh yeah, yes I did. Yes I did. No, it's not unfortunate. We're talking about Survivor Speaks and the healing vigil. Yes. Can you talk about that? And I know that if we don't do something, nobody will.
Right. And it is a very touchy subject. Again, I don't watch TV. I don't read news. I have my social media and companies I run. So I always see something, even if I don't want to. It is a subject that has become, I guess, newsworthy now, because it's something that's been needed to be taken care of. But we've had 3 school youth from Toledo murdered.
Yep.
And this is actually, it predates that. So last year was my first time going to Columbus with Survivor Speaks as part of the Crime Survivors for Safety and Justice, doing that event. And again, if you read my books, if you know me, go through my page and stuff, you'll know why I sit on these platforms and stuff. Last year we held a vigil Same thing. And after we came from Columbus, we put it together.
Yeah.
We had it right out here.
Was that
Outside
Scott
of
Park?
No, outside of
I mean, Mott. Okay.
Yeah, Mott. And nobody showed up. So again, because we are diligent and we want these laws changed, we want something done for the victims. We're doing the vigil again. It's going to be at the Wu Center. That is 6:30. Sherberth. Studio audience, help now.
No. We're gonna get this.
I have bad with names.
No,
that
it's
look
all
like
good.
That.
It's all good. It's all good.
Cuthbert.
It's at the Wu Center.
Yep.
630 Cuthbert Road. Family, that's on this side of town too.
Yeah. Nebraska by Bern.
Right. You see the flyer on our screen. All right. You can just do a screen grab. All right.
Yeah. Is that the library right now? I just printed one off.
Screenshot everything else. All right.
If you want to know more about it, I've already seen some dissension and stuff on my post because people was like, well, why are they? What's their agenda? You know, a lot of times you don't need an agenda, a vision, because most of that talk is built by people who don't care. Most of that is to get a fundraiser, to get a grant and stuff. Just show up.
Yep.
If you want to know some stuff, don't bring dissent on social media of everything like that. If you want to do your own, don't do it on that day. It's that simple. If you want to know more, contact Deisha Darby, Anton Parks, and they can give you more. They are the representatives. I'm just a guy, a guy that has a lot of resources and networks and stuff, but I don't utilize them to cause dissension because we've had enough of that. We got enough of that. So if you are a survivor, I know it's very difficult. It took me a decade before I wrote my book on how I got here and what happened to me, but you're more than welcome to come. And it's not just of crimes or domestic violence. If you're a survivor of anything, really, any trauma, come, show up, talk to us. They'll have people out there, professionals that will give you other resources and stuff like that.
All right. And have we shared it on our page yet?
Share it on our page, share it through my networks.
Okay,
I'll be
good.
doing it up until the day of. I'm no longer contracted to have a certain quota anymore with Facebook, so I can go back to being the creatively, dysfunctionally destructive person I used to be a year ago.
Yeah, I don't even know what that means, but hey, but anyway, I'm with it. Hey, fellas, before we get to it's almost time for 5 minutes of heat.
Yep.
All right, and I want to remind everyone to visit our YouTube page and subscribe, comment, share, and like the page. We're trying to get up to 100 followers. All right.
Yeah.
With
Subscribers.
Yeah, I'm getting my social
bell.
media thing.
Social media is weird. I don't know. I've never done those, but please do.
Yeah, we do need that. That way, you whenever we're about to launch the podcast, you get a notification. If you want to support us, you can support us via Cash App. That's #419 or PayPal CSRN 419. Follow us on all of the media platforms: Instagram, Facebook, Spotify, YouTube, and Twitter. And as always, I think that I've covered everything.
Yep.
You know what? I had we played the final call ad, and this week's final call is taking charge of Black maternal health. Family, when it comes to our women, we'd say that there was a saying that was said that a nation could rise no higher than its woman. If you want to find the values of a nation, look at how it treats its women. And we have to take a long look at Black maternal health and making sure that we do what's best for our children, because we have the highest mortality rate of any. So there's some things that we need to change. There's some things that we need to do. And that's the current issue of the final call. You can find that paper at your community market. Bobby Howard's on Indiana and Hawley. Where else? At Yummy's and Powell's Beauty Supply. And the brothers that's going to be on the corner this weekend because the weather is breaking.
Awesome.
If it's not raining. All right. So I think that's what I wanted to cover. I don't think I left anything out. Okay. All right. You know what time it is.
It's 5 minutes of heat time. And for the people out there, this might be an older piece. I'm not sure because I have one that's called People Problems, but right now in my phone it's listed under Peace of Mind.
Okay.
Because after 5,342 poems, some things get a little fuzzy. So that's also why I'm publishing more books more currently, because only 142 are published. And before I get, old brain, I want to make sure all that stuff is in history, is in libraries, because it was my duty to write it. So I should see it all the way through.
All right.
It's a short one too. It's only 1082 characters, so only 1,000 words. Small. Peace of mind.
Let's do it.
Let's begin. Peace. So I learned to stay away from people who did not want change, people who are always pointing the finger at someone else, people who were always ready to complain but never do anything when it was time to make change, people that stay in front or behind but never at your side, people that would give up every time they were told to decide. This took me most of my life and many miserable dead-end trails to circle back around and find out where I failed. I was becoming just like those people who would hear a tragic story and feel nothing, people that don't put thought into their actions, people who encase themselves in their own perfect bubble, people that shut off the rest of the world to accomplish one goal. By criticizing the things I did not want to become, I was also giving myself energy to what I would become. So I hugged everybody. At the very least, shook their hand to find out what made us so different. A simple acknowledgement to the person right in front of me. Not all hugs, handshakes, or a simple hello led to anything past that, but many of those branches took root. They led to conversations, connections, organizations, a community of growth I've seen on the uprise. So the best thing I learned to do for myself was stay away from people until I found myself. In peace.
All right, and as always, we snap our fingers. All right, I want to thank you, Jody, for what was that piece called?
I want to say it's People Problems, but in my phone, it's called Peace of Mind.
Hey,
I just got to figure out where all those 30 days of writing are.
It's Peace of Mind with People Problems. All right. All right. Hey, I just made up hey, that's bars. All right. Hey, listen, family, I want to thank everyone that joined us this week. We will be back next week with Haley Shears.
Yep.
All right. With Pretty Protection and her safety segment on how we need to stay alert, brother. All right.
Next week is also starts 2 weeks of the Mud Hens if you're local. There's my face. Of the Mud Hens if you're local at home.
Okay.
So I'm not sure if I'll be in studio or running late, or I might just have to log in and be
do it remote.
In the back room of the restaurant, like, hey, I need 10 minutes.
Like, hey, get back to work. All right. Hey, family, listen, we thank you for joining us. And as always, all lives can't matter until Black Lives Matter. And Black lives can't matter until
all Black lives matter.
Justice or else.
Yeah.